Hello, I'm Jashkins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. Today we will be continuing to read Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten by K.A. Applegate. And this is actually one of those chapters, that eh, I sometimes make jokes about. This series is for kids. What the heck? Well, yeah, this chapter is like, so this is for kids? Really? Really? No, no. This is one of the books that's not going to get okay. But yeah, so about my long time away, long story short, I spent a week at my mom's house in which I didn't do any work. I just read, hung out, caught up, and then I came back home and for a few days normal, and then Rev Resner got some shoulder surgery. And so for the past week, I've been helping him. I've been waiting for, him to say if he needs anything. I've basically been living off of caffeine. I'm drinking water right now because with my acid reflux, I need to drink some water between, caffeinated beverages for whatever reason. And if you're wondering how it feels to take care of someone like this, like even if it's a loved one, I find there are usually 3 days. The first day is the good day. Hey, it's not really bad. I don't really feel bothered at all. Sure, I'll do whatever. Don't mind. Other days, it's sort of in the middle. It's like you have some good points, but it's basically May. You're just sort of getting through the day with some high points here and there. And then the third day is when you start to think, hey, maybe James from Silent Hill 2, maybe he's onto something. Maybe he was onto some really good ideas there. Okay. I've been wanting to use that joke forever. So, before I start with today's chapter, uh, this is yet another video that has a sponsor, and that sponsor is My Devil Employer and Other Stories by Aaron Miller. And if you would like to hear just a little bit more about them, and how you could become a sponsor in an upcoming video, just wait. Wait till the near the end of the video. So, this is going to be a roller coaster ride of emotions. Okay. Chapter 22. 8 o'clock p.m. Run! It's a trap! I bolted, but a vine reached up and snagged my front paws. I tumbled, head over heel. Instantly, the jaguar was up, but again a vine grabbed me, wrapping around my neck. The vines were alive. Like a snake, it wrapped around my jaguar throat and tightened. I couldn't breathe. I writhed with all the jaguar's strength and broke free. I ran, then it hit me. I'd been wearing the bug fighter's computer around my neck. It was gone. It's a Larathak, Hex yelled. The vines. It's Visser Three in a morph. It's a creature from the Hork-Bajir homeworld, a Ladarthak. It suddenly Axe was silent. The darkness was erupting around me in a tangle of vines. It was like being in a storm of snakes. The vine shot through the air, reaching, grabbing, wrapping themselves around me. I saw a flash of a jaguar, maybe act I couldn't be sure, being lifted in the air by one of the living vines, lifted by his neck, with three more vines wrapping around his legs and body. I wanted to help, but the snake-like things were everywhere. If I hesitated even a second, they would have me. Jake! I heard Marco yell. It's got me! Cassie's thought-speak voice just screamed, ah! Cassie! I yelled, Marco! Jake! It's huge! Tobias yelled down from above. Can't see well, but like an octopus, but with 1,000 tentacles. A slither of tentacles slapped against me, wrapping around my legs. I leaped, a split second away from being caught. I ran. What else could I do? I ran. It's swallowing them. Tobias cried. Oh no, no, it has a mouth! Huge! Help them! I can't! I can't! I cried. The vine tentacles were less numerous now, smaller, weaker. I'm inside something, Rachel said. Smothering! Prince Jake, we've been swallowed by the Ladarthak. I can't get to you, I yelled. I can't even see you. Claw your way out. Can't, can't move, Cassie moaned. I can't just watch this, Tobias yelled. I'm going down. I was reeling from sheer shock and horror. I was running in panic, running flat out. The tentacles no longer surrounded me. But when I paused, panting, to look back, I saw it. It was like some gnarled old tree come to life, like Medusa's head, alive with snakes. I saw it outlined against the bright lights around the blade ship. It was rising from the ground, growing taller and taller, tentacles like bullwhips, a maze of snake-like arms, all surrounding a dark core. Through the tentacles, I could see a wide, drooping, blue outlined mouth. As I watched, a struggling jaguar was tossed inside. And one thin tentacle reached, whipped, and wrapped around a bird that was diving toward it. Visser Three said, just 5 little andalites inside my craw. That leaves one still free. But don't worry, plenty of time to find you. He had them all. He had them all but me. Settle down, my Andalite friends. Relax. I won't kill you. Yet. But you won't morph your way out of this. By the Dardak morph will hold you tight till I decide your fates. He had them. Visser Three had won. I was the only one left. I was their only hope. Some hope, I told myself bitterly. I was the one in charge. And I had walked them into Visser Three's trap. Don't feel sorry for yourself, Jake. Find a way out. The huge, 1,000-tentacled creature moved easily and swiftly through the rainforest. And now, on both sides of it, I saw the Hork-Bajir warriors behind me, all around me. A ring of Hork-Bajir penning me in as Visser Three slithered toward me. Then, flit! Even my jaguar eyes couldn't see the spear fly. I could only see it when it stuck into the back of a Hork-Bajir. Flit, flit, flit! Spears appeared from nowhere. Hork-Bajir began dropping. Polo stepped into view. He looked past me and launched his spear at the Latardek. Launched it at Visser Three. But the Visser's morph was far too quick. One fawn reached out, snatched the spear from the air, and contemptuously tossed it back. It stuck in the ground where Polo grabbed it. That was don't know if you heard my husband there, but yeah, Rev Resner. So I can have this delicious bread, but sorry. So anyways, let's get back to the doom and gloom and not the joys of raisin bread. God. I'm actually going to go back a paragraph so I can, get into the mood again. Polo stepped into view. He looked past me and launched his spear at the Thardak. Launched it at Visser Three. But the Visser's morph was far too quick. One vine reached out, snatched the spear from the air, and contemptuously tossed it back. It stuck in the ground where Polo grabbed it. There was no way to stop the Ladarthak. It was safe, surrounded by its fine tentacles. The only vulnerable part was the head, and it was surrounded by a force of the... Wait a minute. Not like vines, not like tentacles. Wrong way to think, Jake. I realized. Branches, like branches. I dove into darkness, and even as I ran, I began to demorph. I heard the flit of spears flying and the cries of Hork-Bajir, but nothing was stopping the Lathardak. The Visser kept coming. I was human now, blundering blindly through slapping leaves, my bare feet cut and bruised, but at least I had a plan. I ran and focused on a quick morph. I ran and shrank, but still I ran, even as my legs became bowed and I bent forward to use my knuckles like extra feet. And when I was fully monkey, I turned. Well, the Darthak loomed huge above me. Its thousand bullet tentacles slashed the air. Is that you, my last Andalite? Visser Three crowed. Is that is that little creature your final morph? Pathetic. Maybe so, I thought. But as far as I'm concerned, you're just one big jungle gym. I leaped through the air, leaped for the nearest tentacle. I grabbed it, swung, and flew. No other animal could have penetrated that maze of swinging, snapping, slithering tentacles, but to the monkey, it was all vines and branches. Swing, fly, catch, swing, fly, catch, all at hyperspeed, all at warp factor 10, but the monkey could do it. I grabbed one especially big tentacle. It swung me far up in the air, trying to snap me loose, but I held on. And now, down below, I could see the Latardak's head. I could see the drooping blue mouth that had just swallowed the others. I glanced aside. Polo! Yes, he was standing with his spear in his hand. Your spear! I cried in thought speak. Your spear! In a flash, Polo understood. He threw with all his might. The spear flew straight and true. And from high in the air, holding to the whipping tentacle with my tail alone, I reached with both hands and snatched the spear out of the air. Did you know that one of the reasons humans can throw is because we once swung through the trees? Yep, the shoulder design that makes it possible to swing from branch to branch makes it possible to throw a spear. Very possible. I threw. The spear hit home. It sank into the flesh of the Tharthak, delivering the poisons of the rainforest into the deadly alien creature. But I had used up all my luck. The tentacle whipped toward me. Like a snapped high-tension wire, it wrapped itself around my neck. And... And that's the end of the chapter, folks. Yep. So that's how chapter 22 ends. I really, really wish on chapters like these with such a big cliffhanger, you just saw all your favorite characters die, but obviously somehow they make it through this book alive because there's more books in the series. So, how does that happen? And then, so I'm like, I really wish I could do my schedule that I had before I got Vertigo, where I, filmed on Mondays and Fridays for, the Amorphs dramatic reading. Because, yeah, this is quite a cliffhanger. And again, as I started this video, I was like, this is one of those chapters where it's like, this is for kids, really? That this is for kids. Like, hey, kids, don't you want to read all your heroes getting brutally murdered no matter what they did? Yeah, it's and it's also a chapter that it hits harder, hits different when I read it now than when I read as a kid, because as a kid I read this book so many times. I don't know how many times I read it, but trust me, it was a lot. And I was like, "Oh no, they died! Yay!" Maybe I didn't say yay, but still, I was engaged. Like, it didn't put me off. And now as an adult, I'm looking at this book and I'm like, how the hell did I survive this? Why didn't I not just read this book once or twice, but probably maybe 58 to 100 times at least? Yeah. So let's let's see, for the question for this video, let's think of a good one. What do you think? Okay, hang on, let me try to rephrase this. So for this video's question, what do you think, like, about this being a chapter in a book that was meant for, kids? Like, do you think it's, too dark for kids? Do you think it's okay? And if you read these books while, a kid yourself, and then, reread while an adult, did you, like me, notice a difference between reading it as a kid and as an adult? Or did you, like, experience it the same? And please comment down below with your answers. And also comment down below with any questions or anything that you have about this chapter that I didn't address in this video. Like this, comment down below. But remember, I am hoping against hope that people, discover and rediscover Animorphs through these videos. So there's probably some first time people, viewing this that have no clue what happens next. So I want to keep the comment section on this, you know, video spoiler free. So don't, post anything that would be spoilery. I don't want that. I want to give people like reading this the first time like the full experience of, oh my god, what's going to happen. And if you're one of those people that are that this is your first experience with Animorphs and you're like, hey, I really would love my very own copy of Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten by Kay Applegate. Well, if you're watching this, just on YouTube, Patreon, or my blog, is down below for where you can get your very own copy of Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten. Now, the perks of buying it through that link is it's an Amazon Associates link. So not only does KA Applegate get some royalties from it, I also get a little amount too. So you're also helping to support me at the same time. Now, if you want to contact me and outside of YouTube, I'm Jashikins on Twitter. And just be aware that the spoiler free thing is only for this comment section. I will go full spoilers on Twitter, so please tell me, if you don't want any spoilers or where you are in the series. So, yeah. And if you would like, if you're like a longtime fan that wants to support me monetarily, I have a Patreon. And if you're watching this on YouTube or Patreon, no, why would there be a link for Patreon if you're watching on Patreon? I don't know. And if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description is a link to my Patreon. And if you're watching this on my blog, link is somewhere off to the sides. And I also am putting out my own original book series via Amazon called Kafka's Men. It's a grim, dark superhero reverse harem series. So it's currently has 4 books out. I don't know when I'm going to start working on the 5th book, but the 5th book will be the first book in the series told from the point of view of Blaine Rue. I'm also thinking about doing little side stories, but doing side stories is like I don't want to give spoilers out to things. So I have to plan when I do side stories, get those out because it's like I don't want to have a plot point in the main series diminish because people read the side story where like, hey, or if it doesn't reveal some big major plot point, the problem could be, people wouldn't understand like why should I care about this? So yeah. And if you would like to read Kafka's Men, if you're watching this on the YouTube's link in the description. If you're watching this on my blog, look for the link on somewhere on the side where it says my ebooks because you can find a nice list of those there. And finally, about this video's sponsor. My Devil Employer and Other Stories by Aaron Miller. And the summary is, how was I supposed to know the devil was a woman? Ah, well, time to get to work. So it's a nice little collection of short stories, and reading anthologies is sometimes a lot different than reading novels, so that's fun. I know some people will take like anthologies and just go, I'll read this one but not this one, but I just always read them cover to cover. And if you would like your very own copy of this book, if you're watching this on Patreon or YouTube, a link down below. If you're watching this on my bloggity blog, link up above. Woo! Just somewhere up there. And it's on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have that service, I personally love Kindle Unlimited because it allows me to sort of give a test drive before, maybe buying it. And oh, if you would like to become a sponsor yourself, all you have to do is, if you're watching this on YouTube or Patreon, link in the description. If you're watching this on my blog, the blog link up above, where you can, become a sponsor by ordering a gig, my promotion gig on Fiverr, and adding in that sweet, you know, YouTube extra. So, yeah. So, yeah, if you have a book that you're trying to get the word out about, hey, I'm here. I'll help you. And that's it for today's video. I hope everyone was as traumatized as I was. Because, holy, what the heck? For kids! This book series is for kids. Sometimes it can be funny, it can be goofy, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell? So, I hope everyone's having a great day, everyone's staying safe. Because, yeah, the world can get crazy sometimes. And as soon as I'm done not watching this, as soon as I'm done filming this, I'm going to catch up on the latest episode of Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. The original Pretty Little Liars is an absolute trash, and I love it. So I'm watching this new spin-off. And after that, I'm probably going to watch the movie Hatching, which is I think it's made by IFC Midnight or A24. Both studios are sort of known for dialing up the weirdness up to over 100. Like, they're good movies, but if you don't like weird, don't like art house styled stuff, you probably won't enjoy, their stuff. So, hope you're having a good night, day, whenever you're watching this. It's day here. I don't know. Bye.